Hello and welcome back once again to product placement. So I made a reference to today's item in a previous video when I did the Reese's Big Cup with potato chip pieces inside of it. I said that there was another one that came out shortly after that or around that same time that I was hesitant to try because I have bad experiences with this particular flavor combination. And I'll explain that in a minute, but I'm going to start telling you what the items are before I get into the long story times, because I spent like 16 minutes of a video talking about stuff and then got into the product and spent like a whole 2 minutes talking about the product. So I'm going to try to start telling you what the product is, then go into my spiels. So today's item, and the only reason I got this is because I found it in this smaller package. Otherwise I would have ignored it probably. But today's item is Reese's pretzel cups. So again, in the line of putting crunchy items in our peanut butter cups, and this time it is pretzel. I like Reese's peanut butter cups. I like pretzels. I've been known to have a bag of rolled golds in the cupboard from time to time just to snack on. The reason I was hesitant to try this is because of back in 2003 or 2004, I was at work. I had woke up late for work that day, so I had to like rush out the door to get to work on time. And I still ended up being like 2 minutes late clocking in, but my boss ignored it because I'm normally like 5 minutes late if I'm late. And he's like, well, you're under 5 minutes, so I'll ignore it this time, but don't let it happen again. You're kind of on thin ice as far as your lates, because I always walk to work, and sometimes, it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes you're not as fast as other days. But I had to rush out of the house, so I didn't get to have breakfast, lunch, whatever, before I went to work. And I was going to be working an 8-hour shift, and, our lunch breaks were like 20 minutes, I think, or something like that. So it wasn't enough time for me to like walk up to the nearest gas station, grab a sandwich or something, or a candy bar or whatever, and run back, or I would be late coming back from my break. So in our break room, they had vending machines, but I don't usually carry cash on me. I always have my card. But back then, because it's 2003, 2004, vending machines, they were starting to get card access, but it wasn't a commonplace thing like it is now. So it only accepted cash, dollars, or quarters or whatever. So I had a total of, I think, $2 in my wallet. Our Coke machine was like $1.25 for the 20-ounce bottle. And I was like, okay, I can get a 20-ounce drink so I can at least have something to drink on my break. And then when I'm done with the drink, I can fill it back up at the water fountain and have water at my desk all night. So I was planning on getting that. But then I was like, okay, so now I got to find something to eat out of the snack vending machine that's less than $1, because that's all I'm gonna have left in change. So I look in the machine and everything's like $1.25, $1.50 or something like that. So I asked the couple people that are there, like, hey, anyone got like 25 cents or 50 cents or something I can borrow? I can get it back to you tomorrow if I see you or whatever. I was like, I only got $2 on me and the machine takes $1.25 and everything, and here's $1.25. So I kind of need like a minimum of like 25 to 50 cents. Everyone's like, oh man, I'd help you out, but I don't have any change on me, and whatever, I would just give it to you, but and you wouldn't have to worry about paying me back, but I don't have it on me. All right, no problem. So I'm looking through this vending machine. Is there anything in here that's under $1 other than a pack of gum? Because the gum was like 75 cents. So I'm looking and looking and looking, and finally I see one candy bar. It was 85 cents. I was like, damn, I don't have enough for that either. And this girl goes, how much do you need? I was like, well, if I get this one, I only need like 10 cents. And she goes, well, let me check. I might have a dime in my purse, or, a couple nickels or something. So she checks and she has a dime, so she loans me a dime. I was like, cool, I'll get it back to you tomorrow if I see you. She's like, don't worry about it, it's just a dime. All right, so I put my money in the machine, get this candy bar out, get that, go over to the other machine. I got exactly $1.25, put it in, press Coke, Coke sold out. Press Sprite, Sprite sold out. Press everything on there, it's all sold out. Finally, I hit Diet Coke, and it gives me a damn Diet Coke, which I don't mind Diet Coke. It's just I wanted a regular Coke at that point, I guess, but I got Diet, so whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go sit outside the front door at our smoking area, because then I'm right by the time clock, so when my break's up, I can just walk in, clock back in, and I don't have to worry about walking from one end of the building from the break room over to clock back in. So I'm sitting out front of the building, and I open up this candy bar, I take a bite of it, and it was the worst damn thing I'd ever tasted. Like, seriously, if I had walked to the store and got it, I would have turned around, walked back to the store, been late coming back from my lunch break, and demanded my money back. That's how gross this candy bar was. But the thing was, looking at the description on the package before I bought it, I should have liked it because it had things that I liked in it. So the candy bar was called Take 5, which I don't think at the time it was made by Reese's, but is now part of the Reese's line because Take 5 was sitting like right next to this on the display shelf. So it does still exist, but basically it's called Take 5 because it has 5 things that are normally in candy bars. Chocolate, peanut butter, I think it was like caramel, something else, and pretzels. And I was like, I like all those things. And I've had almost all of them except the pretzels together in a candy bar before. When you have like a Snickers or whatever, it's basically a Snickers with like pretzels in it. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's get that. You know, it was only 85 cents, right? Can't lose. And I took a bite of it. It was the most god-awful thing I'd ever tasted. Like, I was sitting there, I took the first bite and I looked at it, and I looked over at the trash can, and I was like, I want to throw this away and not touch it, but I am so damn hungry. If I don't finish this, I'm not going to get through the night because I'm basically starving because I didn't have lunch or breakfast or dinner or anything before I came to work. And I still have like 6 hours of my shift to go. I have to eat this, otherwise I'm not going to make it. So I sit here stomaching my way through each bite of it and just chewing it up. I'm like, oh, this is awful. Why am I eating this? Take a drink of my Diet Coke, which Diet's a unique flavor in itself, and it's just not mixing with this stupid candy bar. And I'm just miserable this whole lunch break. And I finally get down to like the last final piece of it, and I'm getting ready to eat it, and I just keep hesitating. I'm like, I can't. And I just threw the last piece in the trash. I ate like the majority of that candy bar except for that one final piece. And I walk back in. I'm finishing up my Diet Coke, trying to wash this disgusting taste out of my mouth. And I go back over to the break room because I still got like 3 minutes left or something. I'm going to finish off my Diet Coke, fill it back up with water, and go back to my desk. So I don't have to take a short break to refill my bottle with water immediately after my break because the boss will say something. So I walk back into the break room. I'm finishing up my Diet Coke, and then I go and fill it up with water. And the people are still sitting there on their break, and they're like, so how was it? I was like, that was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. Do not buy that. So that's my story of Take 5. Basically a Snickers with pretzels in it, but somehow adding pretzels made it disgusting. Like I said, at the time, I don't think it was a Reese's product because Reese's makes better chocolate and peanut butter than that. I think the flavor of the chocolate actually added to it. Might have been dark chocolate because I remember it was in a green wrapper, which I think the green one is the dark chocolate. So the bitter chocolate probably didn't help me either. So that whole idea of pretzels inside of things made me hesitant to try this thing because Reese's Pieces inside of it, fine. Chocolate chips inside of it, fine. Potato chips, if you had better quality potato chips, probably would have been fine. Actually, with the potato chip one, the first bite I took had a very large piece of potato chip in the middle. And that, I think that's why I didn't like it. It was too much of a concentration of the chips. But then when I took that second bite, it had more smaller, more evenly dispersed pieces of the chip, and I didn't mind it as much. It still wasn't good because it was poor quality potato chips. So I didn't like that one still. And what I'm thinking is it might also depend on what pretzels they're using. So if these are rolled gold pretzels, I probably won't mind it as much, but I don't think they have a name brand pretzel because it doesn't say a name brand on here. So I'm guessing it's probably just some generic pretzel, and if it's the same ones that were in the Take 5 almost 20 years ago, wow, was it really that long ago? Jesus. Yeah, 2003, 2004, we're in 2022 right now, so 18, 19, almost 20 years ago. So if they haven't gotten better pretzels, I'm probably not going to like this, which is why I was hesitant to try this in the first place. But because it was a single pack, I figured it was cheaper, it's easier to try, I'm not wasting anything. I still got the other chip one out of that 2-pack sitting in the fridge. I'll eat it eventually, just not anytime soon. But since this is available in the single cup, and like I said, I leave stuff in my car and then refrigerate it. So this is what happened. This literally has, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's still a wrapper on it. 6 wrappers on this thing. That machine screwed up hard on this one. All right, so we got it unwrapped. Smells like a normal Reese's peanut butter cup. Let's try it out and see if I enjoy the pretzels or if it takes me to flashbacks of Take 5. Cheers. Honestly, I don't mind this one. The pretzels are a bit harder than I would like. It actually jabbed in the roof of my mouth when I took that bite. That's why I winced a little bit. But they are broken up really small. They're evenly dispersed. They're actually using better quality of pretzels now. I'm almost tempted to buy a Take 5 now and see if it tastes any better than I remember it. Maybe once Reese's bought up the idea of it. Because, like I said, I don't think it was originally a Reese's product. But now that it is, maybe they've improved on it. I'm also trying to determine if the additional peanut butter of the big cup actually helps it or not. Last time it was like the minimal amount that's normally in a regular Reese's peanut butter cup and not the big cups. So maybe the extra peanut butter actually helps the pretzels better. But yeah, overall, I like this one better than I thought I was going to. It's not as horrible as the Take 5 was. It's better than the chip one was. So overall, not disappointed in this one. So, there you go. I took a chance on an 18-year-old nightmare memory and ended up liking it. So now I'm tempted to revisit the Take 5 and see if it still sucks or if it's improved. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Nothing else to say about this one. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Links are down there somewhere, maybe. Ring the bell. Make sure you get notifications every time I post new content. And until next time, cheers.